There's been a lot of education on this recently on TikTok, which I think is amazing. But what I haven't seen, which I want to share with you today, is how do you figure out if your product is silicone or water based? Because how can we implement this unless we know? So I am a product developer, but I am not a chemist or scientist. So I always look for little hacks on how I can tell how something is formulated. And it's really hard to tell if something is water-based because most products have water as the first ingredient on the ingredient list. However, you can usually tell if something is silicone based if a silicone is the second, third, or fourth ingredient in the ingredient list. So for example, this is the Lumi Glotion that I just showed you. This here is a silicone. And there's kind of two ways you can tell if something's a silicone. It will either have number one, an ending in XANE or an ending in CONE, like you see here. And so either of those things are usually classified as silicones and can tell you if your product is silicone based. So if a silicone is not one of the top ingredients in the ingredient list, your product is probably either water or oil-based. Honestly, there's not a ton of stuff on the market that is oil-based, so the probability of that is low, especially within face makeup, so it's probably water-based. So again, this is kind of like a very general rule of thumb as a basic consumer like myself, how you can kind of get an indication. But of course, if it's something that you need more information on, definitely ask somebody who has more of a scientific background than me. But what I will say is this is the simple trick that I use when it comes to layering my face makeup. And what I mean by that is everything from tinted moisturizer to luminizers to concealer to foundation. All of that really should be within the same either silicone or water-based family for best results. And by doing so, it took my skin from what I showed you in the beginning to this, which again, up close, no filter, back cam. And as you can see, nothing's perfect, but it is just like a lot smoother, more natural, more filter-like than the original photos. So I hope this helps. Feel free to comment on this video with any questions you have on your specific products and whether they might be water or silicone based, and I'm happy to see what I can do to help. But otherwise, like I said, this has changed my makeup routine and I hope it changes yours as well.